A fundamental law that is shared by both science, magic alike. Information can neither be created nor destroyed. It can, however, be translated, transcribed, transformed, transmuted, and taken.
Hello, esteemed members of the Mad Scientist Union. I am Dr. Chase Kelvin, assistant to Dr. Juno Miller. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm the assistant to Dr. April Miller. I'm here to present on behalf of the good Dr. Miller because she is, well, indisposed with her projects at this time. But I'm here to explain Eigenweapon He, so that the heads of the other Eigenweapon projects can understand what mass redistribution is and how it works. I should say that I didn't have a lot of time to clean up the slides, so there is some extraneous information on the slides that I haven't had the chance to clean up just yet. So I thank you all for your patience as we get through the extraneous information, extra slides, and leftover notes. Mass redistribution is, in short, the process of using both delta radiation and Project Ares to change the size of living things, and also inanimate objects. In essence, growing or shrinking objects by taking the information or mass from one object and placing it into another. The science was coined by Dr. Juno Miller to differentiate it from more esoteric sources of size changing, such as thaumatology. Since the Age of Ash in 75,000 PUC, artificial size changing could be achieved with However, size changing relies on thaumatology theory, and such are not only exceedingly rare, but also virtually unpredictable. Therefore, they are not considered a useful form of mass redistribution.
Unpredictable to you, but not to everyone out there. There's so many still out there.
In 2666, we had the Rutherford Bohr model of the atom, which proved useful in understanding mass redistribution, which was handy during the on December 6, 2702, which was 8 years before the Mad Scientists Union formed, and years further still until Eigenweapon He successfully redistributed living mass. Can cause living things to grow or shrink, as long as they consume food or drink that is prepared or held by. Think, for example, teacups, wine bottles, canteens, plates, or even napkins can cause size changing when food touches the surface and is then consumed by a living thing. We cannot predict if the consumed food will cause growth or shrinkage, since even the same food consumed by multiple subjects can have different results.
How many lives did you sacrifice for that answer, Dr. Kelvin?
What we do know is that the more calories in the food, the greater the size change. The esoteric mass is believed to come from enigmatic sources, such as Study is ongoing by the Esoteric Sciences Division, which is my division. Oh, sorry. Looks like there is extraneous data on this corrupted slide. You can just disregard it at this time. Information, meaning matter or energy, can neither be created nor destroyed. All matter, mass, and energy used by living things has to come from somewhere else. On Earth, that is usually soul's light, water, air, and the food we eat that is converted into usable information. However, that also means that information in the universe is ultimately finite. Thaumatology and esoteric arts get the excess information outside of our universe from infinite information sources, such as these sources are not considered usable by exoteric science at this time. The square cube law has proven to be the biggest obstacle to exoteric mass redistribution. As the size of an object or person is increased, the mass increases at a greater rate. For example, if you double the size of a cube, then the mass is 8 times greater than that of the original cube. The greater you increase the size, the greater the disparities of their mass becomes. Increase someone's size to 10 times their original size, and their mass will be 1,000 times greater than their original mass. The reverse is also true. If you reduce a cube to half its original size, then the mass is reduced to 1/8 of its mass. Mass reduces more quickly than surface area or height, and it increases more quickly as well. As you move beyond small numbers, it gets more extreme. So if you, for example, want to, let's say, double the size of one person, you would have to half the total size of 7 other people to abide by both the square cube law and conservation of information. So to reconcile both laws, if we want to decrease the size of an object, the excess mass has to go somewhere else. And if you want to increase the size of an object, the additional mass has to also come from somewhere else. Since we cannot reliably shrink 7 people every time we want to grow one person, that is where the mass batteries and Project Ares comes in. While we could leave some empty space inside of expanded matter for non-living things, that is not viable for organisms. So, mass batteries, such as, say, a cube of lead, can be used to store excess information drawn from somewhere else, and can also have information extracted for when we need to expand the size of another object. Our first attempts of changing the Bohr radius of atoms ends poorly. January 14th, 2703. Discovery of Eigenweapon means that radiation can be used to efficiently induce controlled mutation in living things. May 30th, 2717. Eigenhe successfully redistributes mass from one lead block to another with approximately 100% efficiency. May 1st, 2717. First animal tests occur concurrently with the first human trials. On October 31st, 2717, we have our first test subject survive more than 4 hours after the test. January 20th, 2724, Project Ares prototype created. And by May 19th of the same year, Project Ares completely replaces mass batteries. Mass redistribution devices, or MRDs, can store the pattern of an object scanned, and can calculate how to safely grow or shrink any object, animate or inanimate, and can both draw and store information within Project Ares. The upper limit is not known at this time, but is theoretically infinite. The lower limit is known, and it is older MRDs still use mass batteries, such as lead cubes, to store information used in mass redistribution. All MRDs connected to Project Ares all share the same pool of information. And while storage capacity of Project Ares is infinity to the power of infinity, all information within Project Ares can be provided by There have proven to be several practical uses of mass redistribution, even if the technology is still in its infancy. Radioactive waste can be reduced to 0%. Essentially erasing the waste from existence, and allowing the information to be stored in Project Ares for future use.
It works real well on people, too.
Reduce the cost of logistics by reducing the mass and weight of heavy objects until they arrive where they're needed. It is actually our number one use of this technology. It turns out that reducing the weight of construction materials by 8 times, and the size by half, is an incredibly desired part of logistics.
These logistics makes human trafficking untraceable, makes eigenweapons uncatchable, makes spies undetectable. Hard to find them when they can be hidden in a pack of gum.
We also receive a lot of private funding from those with personal interest in mass redistribution.
And you thought diet culture was bad. They make it worse, and the human traffickers can do so much worse now.
I see I have some more corruption on this slide. Let's see if I can clear it away. Looks like I can't. I'm sure it was nothing important. Let's move on. Now we have a few theoretical uses for MRD technology as well, as we develop the technology further. We believe we can create portal MRDs to act as non-lethal weapons for use by law enforcement or even the military, once we get approval from the League of Nations. We could also increase crop yields when we find steady information sources that we could redistribute. We could also, theoretically, reduce human impact on the environment by reducing how much space humanity needs. MRDs could also theoretically reduce undesirable elements to 0% permanently. I see these projects corrupted. Here, let's move past this just a second.
To ravage, to slaughter, to usurp under false titles, they call empire, and where they make a desert, they call it peace.
I see I have an extra slide there. Let's head to the closing slide. Thank you everyone for your patience. You now have a better understanding of what Eigenhe is and how it works. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your department head or reach out to me in the Esoteric Sciences Division. I hope that everyone here has the day that they deserve. Thank you.
Ego specto spectores.